We are here at Craven Park, where this afternoon, Paul Cooke, Wakefield have taken a huge step forward to Super League survival, winning by 38 points to 10.
Yeah, huge performance, huge win. In the end, convincing, but a very well-deserved victory. I didn't see it coming. I don't think many did. Wakefield in some really poor form. OKR not playing too bad, but Wakefield just fantastic this afternoon, particularly second half. I just thought it was unbelievably good.
14-10 first half, Wakey 14-0 up in quick time, were looking in control. Brough excellent in that first half, and then 2 tries before the break for Rovers. You felt at half time they were right back in it. Yes,
I think at 14-10 everybody felt they was back in it. Listen, I think if you'd have offered that to Chris Chester against the elements first half, against the wind, against the sun in the eyes, he'd have taken 14-10, but I thought it was better than that first half. So what they did second half was just strangle OKR. Made them continually come off their own end, and Kingston Rovers in the end made errors. The scoreboard was against them. They tried things that they probably wouldn't normally try, and Wakefield capitalised on that. I just thought the big players for Wakefield really stood up and fully deserved their 2 points today, and as you said, a huge step to Super League survival.
People wanted us to turn the video around. I'm not quite sure I'm going to do that. I might have to hold it with my hand again, so you have to bear with us here. We might go a bit wobbly at the minute. You'll have to bear with us. Here we are. Oh, there we go. I've lost now my mic. Hold on. No, we'll be all right. We'll be loud because there's only us here. Great comments, says Stephen. I enjoyed the commentary. Thanks for that. Dave said he can hear us anyway, right? Paul says Super Trinity. Right. Wakey, are they safe in Super League, Paul Cooke?
Yes, I think so. I think they are. I think it's 1 from 3 now. I think London, Hull KR and Huddersfield, who have had a really disappointing loss at home to Castleford, again scoring 0. That's 2 in consecutive at home that they've not scored a point. So I think they're in some trouble with Hull KR now in London, and I think Wakefield have taken a giant stride to survival.
And looking at Rovers then, week off next week, they go to Catalans in 2 weeks, London at home, Salford away. They may possibly win 2 of those.
Yes, they may. Really big one in a couple of weeks in the south of France, because Catalan have been beaten at home as well, convincingly really, 17 points to 4 by London. They're not in great form. I thought Catalan might sneak in the top 5 with the results that they may well get against teams below them on the table in the last 4 weeks, but they're faltering. They've got some suspensions to deal with. A really tough end to the season for every other club. I think London are really sat there under no pressure when everybody expects them to go down anyway. They play Hull KR and Wakefield in the last 2 weeks.
Do you think maybe the result last night had an impact on Hull KR today?
Yes, I do. I think it has an impact on everybody in and around that. I think it adds pressure to Hull KR because they're at home and the favourites. I think that result last night drags them even further into the relegation mire. And then I just felt that even before the game today, Wakefield players came out relaxed. There was waving at the crowd, the friends, the family, they know where they're sat. The Hull KR players, no interaction with the crowd, no interaction with the people that they walk out with, the young ball boys and ball girls. I just felt one team was relaxed today, and I think that came from Kingston Rovers being favourites, and they couldn't handle that.
I made a point ahead of kick-off that if the Hull KR team that went and won at Leeds turned up today, then they would win the game. We said if the Hull KR team that turned up against Huddersfield came today, they would get beaten. That's what's happened, isn't it?
Convincingly beaten as well. I mean, it's not the scoreline's blown out in the end. It doesn't probably reflect how difficult the game was for Wakefield, but in the end it's blown out to 38-10. The points difference has taken a hammering. Is it when you go away from home there's less pressure? Everybody's expecting Hull KR to win today. I'm not sure many expected them to go to Leeds and win. They played with a little bit of freedom and took the shackles off and got a great result. We've seen them return home against Huddersfield, who they're down to beat on the coupons and everybody in all the experts' eyes. And again today, they're very much favourites against a Wakefield team out of form and produce a performance which is never going to win you a game of rugby league.
You said ahead of kick-off, it was up to you felt the 2 centres, Lynn, Tupou, Brough and Miller to play well today.
Yeah.
They were all outstanding.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought Escaré to that. I thought Escaré was magnificent. I thought Danny Brough was by far and away the best player on the field. I thought he kicked Hull KR to death. I thought he was great first half. His control and management of the game. I thought Escaré was great. Add Ryan Hampshire to that. Miller, Tupou, Lynn. Getting the ball to Lynn and Tupou is certainly dangerous for Wakefield. I felt that particularly the 2 centres, 2 halves had to play really well, and I thought that they outplayed their opposites, if you like.
Where do Rovers go from here? It's going to be a tough 2 weeks almost, isn't it, without a game?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think the players will need a break. They'll need some time away. They'll certainly need to get in and do some work and fix up some things. Getting that balance right is really important. But every other club's off apart from two. So Catalan are off for 2 weeks as well. So there's no real added, nobody's going to get any advantage by having a fortnight off. I think I maybe need it. I thought Mossy Masola limped off. There's a couple of, Garbutt took another knock to his knees, had some issues with his knees. There's going to be some players that need some rest and recuperation, but everybody's in that boat. Catalan will be the same. London will be the same. Huddersfield will be the same. Everybody's got a fortnight to prepare.
Daniel makes a good point. He said Hull KR can't produce when it really matters. It's 2 big games at home, and you wouldn't really envisage them beating London here, would you, in the next few weeks?
Not on this performance. When you look at London play the same every single week. If they get it wrong, they get beaten. If they get it right, they're very much in the game. Very rarely get blown away. London are a really difficult opposition because there's no pressure on them. They're expected to go down. They're expected to be gone and dead and buried by now. They're not dead and buried. They're very much in with a chance of staying in Super League, and one of the other teams could go down. Well, Kingston Rovers have already experienced that as well. I think there's apprehension around 2016 around the ground. Everybody knows what can happen if the team's relegated, and that can in itself create some pressure from off the terraces onto the field. So maybe a good thing for Hull KR to go away to Catalan. You're right, they can't seem to win a big game when it really, really matters.
And looking elsewhere today, Castleford have gone. They had to win after Salford's win yesterday. They had to win. They've gone to Huddersfield. They've nilled them 24-0 last we heard there. Bad day as well for the Giants.
Yeah, second consecutive game at home where they've scored 0, 44-0 and 24-0, conceded lots of points, and they played a bit better at Salford, but still never came up with any points. And it's all about competition points, isn't it? Right now, with 3 games to go, they need at least one win, possibly 2. They've got a really tough run in to come, Huddersfield.
They have indeed. Who's the favourites? I mean, you've said London. You've been consistent. Everyone's said London all season. It's a 3-game season now. Danny Ward's got a team that are fighting for each other. Can you say the same about Rovers and Huddersfield?
Well, on evidence of today, you'd think that London will be okay. It can change really quickly. If Leeds go down to London and win, then it puts London under all sorts of pressure because they are at the bottom on points difference, and that could play a factor. Still plenty more twists and turns. There's still 3 games to go, and I think there'll be some twists and turns. If you start moving away from what you predicted, it looks really silly right now. I think you stick with what you've got, but it can all change really quickly. It changed last night for me. 24 hours ago, Catalan losing to London changed everybody's mindset coming here today, and probably has a really big impact on Huddersfield. Castleford had a reason to win today as well, by the way. They needed to win to stay in the hunt for the 5 and be in the playoffs at the end of the season. A great performance away from home to nil a team as well. You don't get too many nils in Super League, so well done to Darryl Powell and his men.
It's getting really tense, isn't it now?
It is.
I mean, it's brilliant for us watching it as a neutral in the media. Where do we go? What happens now? Like you said, Leeds, if they don't beat London, they're back in it.
Yeah, and that's the pressure on Leeds and London, isn't it? Or the pressure on London playing Leeds is Leeds pressure. I think Leeds are under pressure to go down there and win. That puts them safe. London again under no pressure because they're expected to be gone by now. They're really fighting for each other. And when you look at the social media posts of their players, up the Broncos, we was never meant to win a game. I think they're loving it down there. They're loving being out of everybody, away from the north, away from everybody else, and really enjoying putting pressure on everybody around them. I think they've been wonderful this year. And as I said, they could still be relegated, and Dan Ward, ironically, could be coach of the season.
He could be. Rovers, tough couple of weeks ahead for them. Are you confident they'll stay up?
I think the biggest game for them now will be London at home. They win that and they're almost guaranteed safety. Going to Catalan still 50-50 for me. You wouldn't expect them to go to Catalan and win, but then I didn't expect London to beat Catalan. So, as I said, there's going to be some twists and turns, and Leeds beat London. Leeds are out of it. Wakefield are probably out of it now. They've got London to play last game. It's going to be a really interesting 3-game shootout.
Andy Bibby says he can't work this league out. Andy, I don't think we can either.
No, I don't think anybody can, which is the beauty of it. We've wanted a Super League where every game matters, and without the bottom 4 being at risk, we've now probably got 3, 4, possibly 5 teams at risk, and everybody's still trying to make the top 5. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Hull go second if they win yesterday. They lose and they're possibly out of the 5. It's unbelievable, the league, and only St Helens are safe.
a word for Salford, because we get hammered on 40-20, because every time we tip Salford to win, they lose. Every time we all tip them to lose, they win. I've told Ian Blease we'll tip them to lose every week if he wants for a small fee. How good were they yesterday at Hull?
Very good. I thought that was very good. Ian Watson's men do what Ian Watson's men do every single week, and they remain consistent in performance. And if the other team's not as good, Salford will blow you away. They've got some really, really good players. The piece of skill from Christian Innill to catch a ball with one hand yesterday and put the ball down is unbelievable. Jackson Hastings running the show. I know he's going off to Wigan, but he'll rebuild again, Ian Watson. Continually gets it right, and I can't sing his praises enough, because I think he's a wonderful young British coach. I think he does a wonderful job with a group of players on a smaller budget than most clubs, and well done to Salford yesterday, because I thought they fully deserved their win. They fully deserved to be where they are in the league, and the 3 games they've got coming up are huge to get them in the top 5. What price Ian Watson to be coach a year along with Dan Ward?
Well, they face Warrington next up. Warrington have got the cup final next week. Saints Warrington. What's your gut feeling ahead of that one, Paul?
Well, your gut feeling is Saints can't be beaten. I've just watched St Helens destroy Leeds with a 7 first teamers missing. There's going to be one hell of a team selection for Justin Albrook this week, but when you look at form of all the teams, Warrington's form going into the final, Saints' form going into the final, the players that they've got on deck, Blake Austin, is he gonna play? Isn't he gonna play? Are they gonna risk him? Are they not? What about that for the remainder of the season? They play Salford next. Salford have already beaten them twice. It's a really big game for Warrington. What you would say is a cup final, anything can happen. So even when there's a heavy favourite, it can often go the other way just because it's a cup final. So Warrington have certainly a chance, but Saints, wonderful performance last weekend and are very much favourites in the final.
Final word then for Wakey. Said 38-10, are they safe?
Yes, I think so. I think that puts them safe. Listen, they've got some tough games coming up. Their last game against London, that could be a really interesting one if they lose the next 2, but I think they possibly took a real step to safety today with a wonderful performance and win at Hull KR.
And are you still London to go down?
Yes, still sticking with it. Be really interesting if they win one more. Really, really interesting if they beat Leeds and Hull KR don't win at Catalan and they go bottom. The pressure's on the team at the bottom, and that's London currently. So the pressure's still on them because of where they are in the league. But there is no pressure from them players because they're not expected to win anyway.
And Salford, are they going to make the 5?
Well, on form you would say yes. I thought Catalan might sneak in there with the teams that they've got to play at home. As I said, all them teams that Catalan have got to play are in the bottom 4 or 5, and I expected them to get up there. But I looked at Salford yesterday and I just thought, wow, what a performance that is away from home at a team that are vying to go second in the league. They've convincingly won, scoring 44 points. Some wonderful tries when you get to watch them. Some fantastic play. So you would make Salford favourites to be in that 5.
Well, that's it from Paul and I. We'll be covering on TalkSport 2 London Leeds in a couple of weeks' time. What a win for Wakey. 38 points to 10. Cass have beaten Huddersfield 24-0. We're in for a nervy last 3 weeks of the season. By the way, the legend will be claiming all the credit for today's Wakefield win, because he said Danny Brough should have been dropped. Well, Danny Brough today had his best performance in a Wakefield shirt for a lot of years. But we'll hear from the legend tomorrow. We'll be back on 4020 Live from 6 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll see you then.